All right. We're
My hair looks
live.
frizzy.
Just got the
Oh,
streaming.
we're live.
Yes, we are.
Awesome.
Woohoo.
Cool. Oh, we didn't do our oh, I guess not for this. We don't usually do our tile, right? Yeah.
Oh, I'm getting a notification.
Notification. So we are live. All right.
Yes, we are.
Awesome. Good. Well, ladies, it's July 30th, 2020.
Yeah.
Welcome everyone to Live the Book. Can you believe? 1 month left of summer-ish.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
And 4 months into global pandemic.
Global pandemic, 4 months in.
That's it? Just 4 months?
Yeah, I mean, really everything kind of stopped March 16th.
Yeah, remember? That's when we did our first St. Patrick's Day.
Yes.
But in Girls' Night In.
Girls' Night In
For St. Patrick's Day. Yes.
Yeah,
remember?
It was.
I don't.
We were still trying to figure out, all right, what do we do? Do we go out? Do we stay in? Do we still
because there were a few places still open. You're absolutely right. We were like, should we do it? And then we were like, you know what? Let's just drink in front of the camera and have a happy hour. So that was our first one.
It was.
Interesting.
Yeah. So how are you doing, Danielle?
Oh, girl, I'm so blessed and highly favored. I'm doing amazing. I miss my dog right now. Kenny has my dog, my little Yuri Treats in Delaware. He thought he had the COVID, but he doesn't. But everyone else around him does. So he believes he is invincible and he's a superhero. So I'm going to go with that. You know, the Lord will bless you and cover you in his blood. So praise God. All things are good. I had seafood boil for 2 days in a row.
Yum.
All the bills are paid and nobody got fired from the COVID and nobody has the COVID. So there is nothing that I can complain about.
Zero.
Well, I have to relay the comment that Elisa is loving your glasses, Danielle.
Oh, thank you, girl. I'm the other Mrs. Ferguson tonight. I thought I would do something different to live the book.
Very nice. We love how you live the book.
Thank you. Yeah.
How are you doing, Daria?
I'm doing well. I can't complain. You know, business is good. Family's well. You know, just waiting on a final answer from my son's school, USC, to tell us whether or not he is coming to California or not. You would think, given how hot of a spot California is right now, that they would just say, "No, you can stay home." But they haven't made a firm decision yet. They're still hedging. So hopefully, you know, they will tell us something within the next day or so, because the time is near.
Yeah,
we had like 9,000 cases yesterday. Like they need to like get it together.
Oh yeah,
it's
crazy.
Yeah, definitely a hot spot. Okay, well, but everything
what about
else,
you, Keisha?
Good. Everything's really good. Trying to soak up as much summer as possible. You know, taking some short trips. You know, obviously here in New Jersey, we're close to the shore, so trying to do a little bit of that here and there, sprinkle in a little fun. Business is booming. And so very busy, but you know, you got to take some downtime too. So had fun last weekend. My highlight, I guess, was, you know, I got to go dolphin and whale watching. Didn't see any whales, but saw lots and lots of dolphins. So
tons of dolphins, according to the pictures.
Yes, it looked amazing.
Oh yeah, they were everywhere, and I mean, showing off to almost, you know, they were showing off. They were like, okay, people came to see us, so it was good. Aww. So I mean, you know, I mean, I'm so glad we're able to meet in this, you know, this venue. I mean, it's not, we're not together, but we're together. So I'm so glad we have our virtual environment to talk about our books. And I can't believe this is the 7th month of the year and we're just rocking and rolling with our reading. So I think that's really great. I mean, it's certainly something to do on the downtime. If you're not,
what do people do? I feel like most people are just so boring. Like, what are they doing with their life? Like,
well, I think a lot of people watch a lot of shows. I've gotten a lot of show lists, shows, Netflix, all the different channels.
People are baking various breads as well.
Oh,
banana bread, I'm hearing.
And sourdough, I've heard. Sourdough is big.
I don't know any of these
people. Lots of people are doing the sourdough.
I did not hear of the sourdough, but I mean, that's beautiful.
I've done the banana bread.
I heard of the banana bread. That's on like a bingo tic-tac-toe thing.
Yes. And I think people are also growing their own herbs.
Yeah,
that's
heard
important.
That. The neighbors and are my relatives on my husband's side. They're growing lots and lots of vegetables here in Mount Laurel. Like I'm getting like squash and zucchini and cucumbers like 3 times a week.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And my
Shanice is giving me vegetables tomorrow. She's giving me cucumbers, tomatoes, and some other things. She's doing a garden.
The tomatoes are ready now. So yeah, it's been good. And my neighbors gave me lettuce. So that part's been, everybody's home to watch the gardens grow. So that is,
I took my
dog like watching a pot waiting to boil.
That's what it sounds like to me, Daria. But for other people, that sounds. You said, what do they do for fun or what? Yep.
I don't know. People seem like boring to me. I don't know. I took my dog to a new dog park. It was very exciting. I met so many new people, like fun people. So that's the spot. That's the hangout, the dog park.
Which dog park?
Let me know if you guys want to come with me. Freedom Park in Medford.
Oh, Medford. Oh yes, yes.
Freedom Park.
Freedom Park's a great park,
and
I guess I don't have to have a dog. I know that park. I used to take my kids.
No, I've 3. Just come with me.
Okay, I'll just come with you. Must have a dog to enter, but you have 3.
I'm 3.
So I don't know if you noticed this. I have to go back. I have to rewind maybe a minute or so. When you were talking about your neighbors with the vegetables, Keisha, apparently when you said your neighbors, you looked like to the right and to the left as if you could see through the walls to their houses.
Yeah.
Elisa pointed that out. She's being very attentive to our body language.
Love her.
Yeah.
Love her.
That's true. It's true. I probably was like, I don't want to talk about that. It's been very cool. So, but it's nice to be home. I mean, and what a blessing I feel like just to have, the space and place to chill till we get the green light to go out and about and travel again. So the books are keeping me certainly entertained and thinking about other places that I've been. And so I guess we'll get into it and talk about the other Mrs. Miller. And I guess my first question is, and I guess we'll just talk about, of course, the first question is, did you like the book? But have any of you been to Chicago?
Yes.
Me too.
I don't think so.
Yeah. It's a nice city. It's a nice city. Good pizza. So
yes.
I thought this was nice. I was trying to think about which books we've read with this city in the backdrop. So I don't think we've read one.
A lot of the books we've read have been like set in the UK.
Yeah.
So it was nice that this was like a regular old US,
city, right? Suburb. Yeah.
I like that.
Well, I'll tell you a little bit about why I think some of the UK kind of those stories seem to get on our list, but I'll tell you that at the end.
Oh.
So, did you like the book? Daria, I'll start with you.
I'll keep it brief. I love this book. The characters were very interesting to me. I couldn't predict it, which is always one of my key criteria for whether I liked it or not. And it was, it held my interest the entire time. So yes, I really like the book.
Good. Danielle?
I did like the book. It definitely kept my interest. It seemed realistic-ish,
Yeah.
But I mean, but it did. It just seemed like normal. Like I was like, oh, that sounds like this person. Oh, that reminds me of that person. Like these characters reminded me of like people I knew. And like people that I thought would do what this one did or is doing what that one did. So I like that it was realistic. Yes, I thought it was good. I definitely enjoyed it.
Awesome. I liked the book. I thought it was very entertaining. I thought the end, as we were moving along, I kind of made, a couple different suspicions, and one of them was right. So that was good. But I thought it kept me engaged till the end. And I really kind of wanted it to go on a little bit. I wanted to kind of see what more Nadia could get into. I kind of liked her style, so that was interesting to me. So I did like it. So first of all, this is a newer book. And so anytime we have these newer books, it's always very interesting to figure out how to get the book club questions. And so this was from one of the author's websites, I should say the publisher's websites. So I thought that was really cool. And so
I don't know if she's watching, but we have a couple people watching. So, and I did reach out to her and let her know about tonight. Oh! So I don't know if we can tell who's watching, but maybe if you're there. Hi, Allison.
Well done. Well done. It was well done. And so the questions are really cool because, like I said, not only did it come with a recipe for wine.
I saw that wine.
I know Phoebe's favorite two food groups.
Yes, I was impressed. Yeah, homemade red wine impressed. Ice cream. We need to make that next time we could all get together.
I agree. That goes right at the top of the list. So from the beginning of the novel, it is apparent that Phoebe has a troubled relationship with her family, especially her father. How does that affect other aspects of her life, including her marriage? And what do you think about her relationship, out of the desire to rebel against one's life? And do you think a relationship that comes out of that can be successful?
Well, I could go. I mean, Phoebe didn't really have a real job, right? I mean, I didn't sense that she was anything but like a housewife. So I think that's because her dad, it didn't matter how smart women were, how much education they had. He saw what was between their legs. So I feel like he didn't value women. So Phoebe didn't value herself. Like she was fine with just being a housewife. And then at some point she wasn't and got bored and, then she was gonna leave the little young boy. So I feel like the dad had a lot to do with it. Yeah. Like, childhood trauma is a lot. If your dad don't value you, then you don't value yourself. So
do you think she rebelled? Do you think marrying, Wyatt was an act of rebellion out of her troubled relationship with her family?
I think it just went into what her dad expected of her, not to be much. And Wyatt was going to provide that life for her to not be much more than his wife. So I don't think it was a rebellion. I just thought she just fit the part that the dad saw for her.
Right. Mm-hmm. What do you think, Daria?
Well, you never got to hear the other side about the father. He couldn't defend himself. You know what I mean? He's dead. All you just kept hearing was all these people saying what he did. And I don't know, I guess I just found myself like wondering, what was really happening? What were the conditions that allowed for all these different things to happen? And did it really happen the way it was being claimed to happen?
Sure.
Because you just never heard from them. And that can sometimes happen. Like people pass away and stuff comes out. And then it's like they're not around to defend themselves anymore. So, people get to create the narrative. And I don't know, I thought about that. But aside from that, if we take it to all be true, I mean, she, if you are treated like you're, I don't know, just serving a purpose, or you're like a fixture in somebody's life, you're not like a real there to have a real relationship and be nurtured and empathize and all of that. I think you begin to look at other people in the same way, like they're just fixtures. And I think I'm curious why she was able to connect with the son. What was his name?
Jake.
Why she was able to connect with him in a way that she wasn't able to connect with her own husband? Like, why did she allow that to happen? What was, like, why? And I don't know, it has to do, I mean, it must be, I don't know, just.
Well, I think, so for me, I mean, picking up on your comment, I think that it had to do a lot with expectations. And I think her resentment to Wyatt after obviously giving birth to a stillborn baby and feeling like then after all of that, still having multiple miscarriages and fertility, challenges, she felt less than, I think, with Wyatt. I mean, and I think she wanted to go to be with somebody who I think was opposite. I think that she thought of her dad. So that was the rebellion. He wasn't looking at her. I think Wyatt was enamored by her because he didn't have the kind of money and the lifestyle that, she had. But I think she, at some point, maybe because he was a therapist, maybe she thought he was listening. Maybe she thought he might be there for her, in some way. That's kind of what I picked up on, thinking about the troubled relationship. But I do agree with you, Danielle, that she didn't think that she was going to have to do much more than a couple meetings, a couple fundraisers, and just hang around and be a wife. I think Wyatt's requirements, which he probably wasn't clear about, was around being parents together. And so I think the destruction of their marriage came from not seeing themselves in the same space. And I think Jake, from what it sounds like, he was eye candy, he's running in the neighborhood. And I mean, and I think, she wanted to take a risk. And I think she also wanted to hurt Wyatt.
I think y'all have it all wrong. And I mean, I hear y'all, but
I said I didn't know what it was. So.
No, I know. Okay, Keisha's wrong, in my opinion, and it's just my opinion. Imagine you're with a young boy, right? They're a little messy, like they don't have their act together. So you're like teaching them, you're training them. Again, you're serving them, you're paying for their stuff. You're, it's an imbalance of power. And I think it was that. Like she, again, is finding herself in a serving role. No, you should go to this college. She's counseling him. She's probably teaching him things in the bedroom that he didn't know. And, I mean,
right.
I mean,
I did not pick up on that. I picked up on that he was advanced for his age.
He's not. She had to say, honey, go this way. Go in this back pathway.
Yeah.
Don't run out my door with me naked. He was messy. He was all the way messy. Hence why she was leaving him, because you can't deal with messy people. So it's over. We're done. We're all done here. We're gonna wrap this up in a pretty.
But you don't think she was going away with him? She was going to.
Yeah, she was packed and ready to go.
She was, because he convinced her to, but she was also ready to walk away from him.
That is true.
It could have went either way. Like, what I'm not going to do is deal with this messiness right here in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
But we could go away where people don't know me.
You're right. She did think about just getting up and going.
Yeah,
and she was messy too. Remember that time they got in an argument and she went to the door naked?
Yeah,
I mean,
because he ran out the front door. That was not his door to run out.
Right. Yeah, but why did she even go to the door naked? So she could risk being seen.
Because he was messy, and she followed after the messiness.
Yeah,
you play around with dirt, you get dirty. I mean,
well, I did.
Sometimes you gotta be like, you know what? I'm not gonna play in this mud hole. Like, I'm not doing this.
She did get messy. She did follow him, and he was messy. She didn't take on a thought that maybe someone would see me.
And he started changing up the script. Like, she thought they were gonna be this hidden thing, and he
wanted to be out and about.
Out and about.
Yeah,
like,
he did. Yeah, he did.
That's why you don't mess with people that don't have as much to lose. Like, she should never mess with him. He's a little boy. He don't have nothing to lose. And she was foolish.
Yeah,
she was foolish.
So did you like Phoebe?
I did.
Daria, you didn't like Phoebe?
No.
No redeeming qualities.
Phoebe was the wife, right?
Yeah.
No, I didn't like her. No. I mean, when she died, I was just like, okay. I was waiting to see who killed her. Like, I was more interested in that than I didn't even skip a beat. Like, oh, poor Phoebe. Or, oh, Phoebe's gone. Or, oh, I wonder what she would have done next. Like, I really that did not matter to me. I was more interested in, all right, who killed her? What's going to happen next? Involving the other characters. Like she was just like plain. She was just like there.
I agree with you, Dora. I think the author did that. Like she was like, okay, Phoebe's dead now. Like it was like,
now here's the story.
There was no build up to her death. There's like, okay, Phoebe's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
So you didn't like Phoebe either, Danielle?
Oh no, I really liked Phoebe.
You liked Phoebe because
because she was bat-ass crazy. Like I mean, Phoebe was a bit off, like you know, like all the way. Like
that's the way you like your characters.
Yeah, like without Phoebe, you don't really have a story. She's messing with the neighbor's kid. That's her friend's son. Like, just, drama. She's not that smart. Her husband, she hated him. So I was like, well, how much does she hate him? She watched what mug he poured his coffee into so she could see how much more time she had to spend with him. Would Phoebe be my friend? Absolutely not. Like, I can't really deal with anybody who doesn't want to be a mother because, like, I don't know. I just don't really find myself being friends with those type of people. But I felt like Phoebe got herself involved in normal problems that we would all get ourselves involved in, not to that level or that extent, but she seemed normal. She seemed normal to me. So that's why I think I like
the appearance of
I didn't like her lack of gratitude. She just seemed so ungrateful for everything.
Mm-hmm.
Who did something nice for her?
Well, she had, even though she had to deal with the her father's twisted legacy, she benefited greatly from it. She was like an heiress.
She was.
You know what I'm saying? But so she didn't need a man. She really didn't. She didn't need Wyatt. That's why I'm like, why she wasn't with Wyatt to be like taken care of. She was fine. He was benefiting more from her really than the other way around. But I think he was just there to complete the picture of what she was supposed to have.
Right.
And she really didn't want that to begin with.
But I think he really loved her in the beginning. I think they had a real, connection. I think. And I think when you see him go back to the, the amusement park or the county fair where he could afford to take her, he seemed far more emotional about things than we ever see Phoebe.
He said, I stopped opening up the gifts and you stopped presenting them.
I know that line. I was like,
tell me that's not like a normal marriage after y'all been together 15 years.
Very normal.
But I think he realized much later what had happened for her long before he was realizing it. Like she just wasn't in it. She wasn't in it. I don't think she ever really wanted to be in it. She didn't need him.
Yeah, no.
I think there was emotional scarring and trauma after what she felt like she was doing for him. When she says to him, like, I don't want to be your baby maker anymore. That's a very large loaded statement,
But it's real, y'all. Like at the end of the day.
For sure.
Yeah, especially if you're just the vessel and you don't actually want to be a parent.
Right.
Right. Even if you do want to be a parent, but the man is just looking at you as a vessel.
Yeah, like,
you know what I mean?
Expectation. And then they're throwing all the adoption papers in the pool and he's so emotional. I mean, I think he feels like he was like almost like jilted or gypped out of something that he felt like he should have. Do we have anything in the comments? Because I don't want to.
No, I've been looking. The last thing Elisa said was that she also needs to take Louis to the dog park.
Oh yeah, her new dog.
Elisa, we could go together, girl. We go together.
I think that's what she was saying. She was responding when you said, "Does anybody want to go to the dog park?" That's what she was saying. Yes.
So I feel like this is a very interesting question. I mean, obviously we've got a lot of characters, but not too many.
Oh wait, we do have a comment. Okay.
Yes.
Elisa is now saying that she was disappointed that Phoebe was killed. So. She was taking a big risk with Jake, and then we didn't know what could have happened.
Right.
But it really wasn't a risk with Jake, if we think about it. Like, what did Phoebe have to lose? She has money.
Right.
So she's not losing money. She's not losing her house. She didn't even love her husband. She almost hated him. I think you're taking more of a risk to not go be with Jake than you are to stay home. In my opinion, I know it's horrible because we should believe in marriage.
Well, to continue your boring life.
Like you're not happy. Like don't put him through this misery. Don't put yourself through this misery. Let's just we had a good ride. Let's just you know, go our ways.
I would have been at the point in the story when Phoebe died. I would have been more disappointed if Jake had died.
Daria.
Well, you know why? I think we also felt like we knew Jake a little bit more. He had a couple more layers. I mean, you know, when he starts texting Nadia, when he's like, you're not, you know, he seemed to have so much bravado.
He loves her.
That's what I'm saying. He was mature for his age. He was pretty sophisticated.
I do.
No, I say no.
Even Phoebe said that. She was like, he looked at me with a knowing, like, I forget the wording, but it was like
he knew how to nibble her ear, but that's not a maturity.
Well,
like all that texting, you run out the wrong door.
But at the end of the day,
I'm a call no.
I felt like he was mature. And the whole thing is that he also knew his mother was up to something.
Mm-hmm.
And he was trying to be like volley between his crazy mom, crazy dad, and then try to be with this woman and make sure that it stayed covered.
Okay, so you guys, as a 45-year-old woman, can you be with a man who's volleying between you and his mama and call that mature?
Oh my. Oh my.
I'm hypothetical. I'm just saying. You just said he's volleying.
Like, where does that question come from? And I was like, hey.
No, that's what Keisha just said. He volleyed between his mother and
yes. I mean, it's possible that it wasn't the most mature thing, but I do think he tried. He tried.
Right, he tried. Okay, we'll go with that.
I mean, you know, listen.
You cannot serve two masters. We all know this.
Hello.
We have to look at the end result of his actions. He kind of had her whipped.
Yeah.
Did he?
Yeah.
No. Yes,
no.
He did.
He did not have Phoebe whipped.
She was thinking about him all the time. And she's really was like, wow, I really can do this. Like, I'm gonna do this. Like, I'm gonna leave my life.
Yeah.
And I want to be free with I want to be free with him.
Until she's done. It's like an ice cream cone, and then when it melts, it's over.
But she's always had her own way, Phoebe. I mean,
no, Phoebe was really not whipped.
Wyatt was really holding her back because really everything has really gone her way. I get the family scorn, but you know, you change your name or you don't, you know, say, I don't know anything about my father. You know, you kind of blow it off. You don't really have to deal with that because everything really has gone your way. Almost, you know, in a laissez-faire kind of way. And like, I think she, you know, she might dump Jake as soon as she gets to London when she feels.
He was a cute little hobby, I think.
They were trying to be together as often as they could.
He was like rabbits, like little rabbits, like little new
little hobby.
That's what I'm saying. He had her whipped.
Daria, what did she do all day but look out that window?
That was just in the morning. I mean, that was just in the morning. That was like her ritual.
I'm just thinking if it were you
don't have certain things that you do at the beginning of every day.
Looking out the window is not one of them. I don't
yes, there's plenty of things we do besides look out that window. That's all that woman did all day was look out that window.
And then go to the gourmet food shop and get $10 ice cream.
That's saying. That's why I didn't like her. She was very like blah. Like her life was blah. Which is why I think it was so easy for him to come in and fill her with this vibrance that she did not have. And it made her want to escape her prison of a life.
Right.
He was like a good Netflix movie.
Yeah. You know how they replay. So
Tony is here. Tony Cardinale.
Hi, Tony.
Yes, sorry, she's late. Listen, Tony, you're not late. Whenever you get here is when you get here.
Yeah. And Tony, let us know if you like the book. Did you like the book? So let's talk about some characters here. Nadia and Phoebe never met.
So wait, I'm sorry. Elisa also did ask a question. Elisa said, what do we think of Phoebe's reality on love? I'm not sure if I understand the question, but
her reality on love?
What was it, Elisa? Tell us what the reality on love was, and then
Tell
we'll
us
be
what
able
it
to
was.
answer better.
Because I think we will all have different opinions.
Yeah.
Because I can tell
maybe
y'all my
maybe
reality,
move
but it ain't
on
gonna
and
be
show,
Phoebe's
well, I'll let
reality.
you know when she elaborates, but maybe we can move on. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, no. So I was just going to ask about, so what did you really think about, what did you think about Nadia, and her plan, and, you know, all the drama that obviously ensued prior to her figuring out and finding Phoebe, and what did you think about her?
I like Nadia.
I like
her.
Nadia too. Like, I thought at first, like, she's not nice, she's evil, but she really turned out to be nice and have a heart and have a conscience. Like, Nadia was all right. She was smart. She ran the plan. Like, look, we're gonna bury her here, and we're gonna do this, and you're gonna do that, and you know. So I did like Nadia.
I thought she was just very bold. Like, even though she laid in wait for a while and was trying to like figure out, all right, what do I do? When am I going to do this? And trying to watch her movements and figure out, you know, all that. I just felt like once the plan was in motion, like you said, Danielle, she like kind of took command of things. And it's like, all right, she is in control right now. And, you know, and then for her to be able to inhabit this woman's life, you know, and then decide, like, who do I want to be? Do I want to be me? Do I want to benefit from this? I mean, and she, you know, navigating her way through that. I thought that was very interesting.
Very interesting. She was definitely layered. She had a lot of layers to her.
Yeah, I didn't understand how she could sleep with her sister's husband. Like, that part was like,
she wasn't alive.
That part.
I think you do what you do. I think she was playing into the character and what she saw as sealing the deal and the bond, because.
So Tony says at least Nadia knew what she wanted and had the fire to go after it instead of just letting life happen to her like Phoebe did.
Right, looking out a window every day.
Yeah.
Like,
okay, tomorrow I'm gonna try that, ladies. Let me see how far I get.
Yeah. Okay. So back to Elisa's point about Phoebe and her views on love. She said, okay, she's reminding us that Phoebe had said in the beginning that it's good, love is good, but then like 15 years later, all that lovey-dovey stuff changes. And she was trying to also convince Jake that what they had wasn't real. I don't remember it that way totally.
Yeah, that's what happened. She kept trying to talk Jake out of how he felt, and like eventually
he kept saying, he said, I love you first. And she was like, no, you don't mean that.
Phoebe is damaged.
Yeah, she was like, go to Stanford. Please do not come to Northwestern. Like, go to Stanford, go on. Do not, you know, you don't really love me. Yeah.
This ain't gonna last. This ain't gonna work.
She didn't want to have him ruin his prospects in life over her.
Sure. Right.
Because she knew she had issues.
And she knew that she was in her mid-30s and he's 18.
But at the same time,
Jada in August, y'all. Jada in August, it could work.
No, it can't work. Really.
It can work.
It really can't. But in the moment, it feels like it can. Because
Tony said Phoebe was too old to be playing peekaboo in the window.
Again, yes, I agree, Tony. That boy was not mature. He walking out the wrong door. I need to tell you what path to take.
She said Phoebe was too old to be
I agree.
peekaboo.
I agree. Peekaboo. But still, same thing playing peekaboo with Jake.
That too.
Same thing.
You could call it that, or patty cakes, or whatever.
Patty cake.
Yeah.
If I gotta tell you what door to walk out of, it's too much.
Yeah. But I think all I see is that when you're, 18, you're someone's senior. I don't know how, listen.
It's kind of hot, guys. Let's be clear. It's kind of hot.
Tina Turner's husband is, I think, 20 years younger than her. I get it. I get it. It is possible, I suppose.
It's cute. Because at the end of the day, like, they'll do different activities with you that your age group might not do. You know, women, we like to do stuff. We like to rock climb or go hiking or swimming.
But I feel like Jake would be pulling Phoebe to do those things. Yeah. Or do you think he would feel like a rebirth? Is that what you're thinking? Like a rebirth?
I'm just saying, I feel like an age difference between men and women sometimes is good because men at some age, they don't want to be that active. They don't want to do that many things. So you get a little young boy, they still want to go play tennis with you, or they want to still go swimming through caves. And
the one thing she did say was that she would love to see Jake's reaction to London through his eyes. She did say that. Yeah, right. As she was packing. So what do you think what do you think would have happened if Phoebe and Nadia met? All things being equal, obviously. What do you think that meeting would have been like?
I think Nadia would have been very disappointed in her.
Mm-hmm.
Just like, this is who you are. Like, this is how you're living here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just I mean, it's like, what does she really want? Does she want to have a connection with her? Does she want to feel like she had family ties in some way? I don't know. It's just, I think she would have been disappointed because I don't think Phoebe was really capable of any real connection with people. Going back to my earlier point, like when you're treated like a fixture in somebody's life, that's how your instinct is going to be, treat people the same way.
Right. Phoebe was disappointing. I agree, Daria. She was disappointing. Where Nadia had more fire, more like.
I think we could have hung out with Nadia.
Absolutely.
I like Nadia.
Yeah, we could have hung out.
So, I mean, her in the woods trying to like get that body buried. What? I mean, I'm like, okay, she can do anything.
So what do you think about the deception at the end? I mean, in terms of Nadia and Wyatt, what about that deception? What do you think about that?
Well, but she realized. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, she realized the truth.
Right.
I mean, the likely truth. And she's like, oh, no, I'm not trying to, she was thinking, maybe I can have a real fruitful relationship with this man. But when she put all the pieces together, she's like, oh, no. He lied.
And that's the problem. Once you do one lie, I don't know what other lies you're telling. Then I doubt everything you tell me. That took her back to her
instinct in the woods, where she knew something fell off to her. Like when you've had to scrape by to live, like to survive, you develop very good instincts.
Yeah.
Yep.
And her spidey senses were tingling.
I don't remember. She said, she thought something was off, that he went to go vomit or whatever. But really, he probably was just thinking, do I kill Nadia too? Right? Is that probably what she went back to think? I mean, that's what she was thinking in that moment. And then I thought it was so interesting and eerie for her to say, like, I put it together when you said your lifeless eyes.
I looked into her lifeless eyes, and she's like, no, you didn't, because I shut her eyes.
Yeah, I was like, wow.
Yeah.
And so when he was getting stitched up, planting the knife.
So some comments.
Yeah.
Elisa saying Phoebe was damaged, that she wanted to see if the love story, where the love story would go, and if she could trust again and fall in love with Jake. And that she thinks Nadia would have been angry meeting Phoebe because of her lifestyle. But Nadia did end up choosing to live that lifestyle in some ways, right?
At first.
Tony saying maybe Nadia would have ended up snapping and killing her after all she did to try and find and establish a relationship with her, only to end up being disappointed in Phoebe. I was thinking the same thing, Tony.
Yeah.
I didn't go so far as to think she would kill her, but I was thinking they would have gotten into a physical altercation.
Yeah, like this, I've been searching for you. I've tried to make a way. I was over there on the farm, and here you are, and this is it. This is what
Right.
Yeah. True. Yeah. I agree. I mean, definitely interesting characters. I mean, Vicky she was a loose cannon. I mean, and then her husband, who couldn't keep a job and kept, injuring people.
Killing people.
Yeah.
And he had a nasty attitude. He was horrible, yelling at her.
Yeah. Abusive on lots of different levels. Yep.
Yeah.
So and so Wyatt, of course, with his therapy background, he really did push her too.
He did.
I thought that
because he had a reason.
Picked up on. She's like, the way he pushed her like that.
Yep.
That was, he just, yeah.
Wyatt
really cover his tracks.
Wyatt was cunning, and he definitely covered his tracks, and everybody had motive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was awful. I mean, and obviously all of this grounded in Phoebe's, horrible father, and all the damage and lives he really ruined,
Yeah, I
including
know.
his, own daughter in a lot of ways.
Right.
And piling on. So I thought that was really, really interesting how it all came together. So, I mean, the ending for you, how did that feel? Did it feel like a good ending? I kind of shared with you that I felt like I wanted to see where Nadia was taking off to next, and money, right? Like, and how she was going to live her life. But what did you think? I mean, do you think there's what's next for the characters and Wyatt? Like, what happens to him?
Again, I find myself wondering what was going on with Jake. Like, I'm like, I want to know. Jake got left behind. He tried to heal. I mean, his mother died. Like the
and
woman.
His lover
Right.
died too. He was a real victim in this.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's the character that I would be most interested in seeing. Like, how does he recover?
Yeah.
From, like, what does he do with his life?
He won't recover, guys. Like, he's going to go mess up someone else's life.
Well,
I mean, we're our best selves before we get damaged and hurt by someone. And this woman damaged him. His mother damaged him. He's going to, like, hate women and damage women. But yeah, I agree. I would love to see what Jake did, but we know. We've seen this. We know this story.
We walk among them.
Yeah.
Walk among them. Well, I would still read a book about him. I would definitely read a book about Jake.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's
absolutely.
the main. That's the character I have the most ongoing interest in.
Right. I wonder why, Dorbia.
I'm just wondering.
We don't need to be at nobody's red table.
He was a compelling character.
Well, I do get that. I really did enjoy the book. I think that I hope Allison Dickson, hopefully she watches our summary and review of this book. I thought it was really good, and I like a page turner for sure. I really do. So
I'm trying to go to my notes to see, is there any, Danielle, you mentioned that one line about she stopped presenting the gifts and he stopped opening them or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember, there were a couple other parts that just really stuck out at me. This line. Pressure forces people into a lot of unlikely shapes. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember that, but that's true.
And I think that when I read that, I thought about what we're dealing with right now.
Yeah.
Like, people are dealing with pressure coming from so many different sources. There's all these uncertainties. People are having to make decisions under stress and, uncertainty. And it's putting people, forcing people into a lot of unlikely shapes. Like, people are acting out of themselves, out of character. And it just makes me, think about how do you alleviate the pressure so that you're not forced into those unlikely shapes.
That's a loaded statement. And yeah, likely that something happens to relieve some of that, right?
Yep. Yeah. Put yourself in solitude.
Yeah. And figure out how to unpack some of that. So, again, I think this book was captivating on a lot of levels. I think you could, I could say for myself, I could see a little sprinkle of myself in a few of the characters, not all of them, but a few of them. And I really was hoping that Phoebe would have made it to London with Jake. I was hoping that, but
that would have been interesting.
It wouldn't have lasted beyond a year. Like, he would have left dishes in the sink. He wouldn't
It would have imploded likely.
Well, what's interesting about this is that Elisa is also saying that she thinks that Wyatt and Nadia also couldn't have made it, like, for the long term. So what is it about, we always get to some point where it's like, what is it about this author that led her to create so many relationships that were just totally broken, right? The neighbor, Vicky, and her husband, a mess. Jake and Phoebe, that was raunchy and crazy. Wyatt and Phoebe, a mess. And then Nadia and Wyatt later, that was a hot mess. So
I think research, just general research.
Yes. Yes.
General research.
General, just basic research.
General. No, would lead us to believe around human condition, behavior development, relationship development, the evolution of relationships would lead us. And okay, so maybe not all ending in murder per se, but not murder, but all the other things that have gone on that transpired in this crazy, cocktail of a neighborhood. If you take one neighborhood and if you do a deep dive, your neighborhood, my neighborhood, there are stories that align.
Yes.
That's not what I'm saying. That's not kind of what I'm saying. I'm saying in other books that we've read, maybe not all of them.
Yeah.
There is at least one relationship where it has some aspects to it that you can appreciate.
What book was that?
I mean, I'd have to go back through our list, but like, for instance, and Nickel Boys, some of the relationships between the boys supporting each other, just coping with what was going on, even in the midst of such like atrocity. They were like, there were some little bonds where it was like, all right, we're in this together. So I guess what I'm saying is there's no redeeming relationships in this. There's no relationship where I'm like,
I think Jake loved Phoebe.
You think
Jake
that was
loved,
redeeming?
Yeah, like he loved her for his age. He loved her. He cared about her.
And
I think Nadia ultimately like loved her sister a little bit because she left. She slept with her husband, but then she actually left him. Like, you killed my sister.
There are no relationships in this book that I would say I wish I had some of that.
I don't want nothing in none of these books.
That's my point. That's what I'm saying. But I say no redeeming.
But I feel like this is very. I guess what I was saying to your point, Daria. I mean, as you were pointing it out, my point back to you was just that I feel like this is reality. This is more reality than not. I felt like without the murder, the relationship,
it was real.
Yeah. And
that's why I don't break bread with my neighbors. If you're Larry's friend, you ain't my friend. If you're my friend, you ain't Larry's friend. Like, we ain't crossing no boundaries. You cross a boundary, we done. You know what I mean? They cross too many boundaries. You can't be crossing boundaries. It gets messy and dirty. And then you mess up your marriage and your relationships. It's just.
And neighbors, right. Neighbors, like when you get close with the neighbors.
All that. Every day you coming over to my house and I'm giving you $10,000 and I'm buying your.
Let's make it 20,000 and.
It's too much.
I'm not saying it's not realistic. All I'm saying is there were no. I'm just struck by the fact that there were no relationships in this where I'm looking at some aspect of it saying, that was a nice feature of that relationship.
Well, I agree with you. There's
you see what I'm saying? Like none. There's nothing that is like. I agree with you.
Agreed. Yeah, confirmed. But I feel like
agreed.
But
I think that's more realistic.
I don't think most of our books that we've read have had that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I never.
Now I'm gonna be like, right now I'm gonna really be thinking about that tonight. Yeah, I'm gonna really.
I don't know that I looked at any book and I was like, oh, I want a relationship like that. But I mean, I'll have to think about it.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm saying even not romantic relationships. I'm saying all relationships.
Sure.
So whether it's mother to child or it's friend to friend or whatever, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like none of them in this.
We had like obviously like when we think about the serial killer mother and wife, and we think about the crazy relationship between the mother and the son, and the husband wife when he was starving her and locking her up. I mean, we've had some pretty dysfunctional relationships.
Yes, but there also have been other relationships in those books where it was more supportive and
right.
You know what I'm
saying? Possibly, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Where you could see them having some support. Other characters showing support. Now, I'm gonna be like thinking about it because that's
maybe like where the crawdads sing.
Yes.
Maybe in that book.
Right.
They had some good relationships.
Did I read that? I don't think I read that.
You didn't read that? Oh, that's a good book.
I think I skimmed or read notes on that book. I couldn't finish it.
Oh, that's a good book.
So I'm thinking about like, yeah, and now I'm going to look through our list. Interesting point. So listen, our time's almost up. I mean, amazingly, we're almost at the hour, just like that. I don't know if Tony or Lisa had any other points that they've shared in the chat.
Phoebe didn't want children, but wasn't ironic that she had no problems taking care of Jake? Oh, wasn't it ironic? She had no problem taking care of Jake. I wonder what she thought would happen when he started acting 18 and not being responsible.
Right.
Exactly. It wouldn't have worked.
Right.
And then Elisa said maybe Phoebe's reality on love is the author's reality on love, but I like to read about real love. That's why I didn't really love the book.
This was real love, Elisa. This is like life. Unfortunately.
She might have been looking for like a rom-com, like a romantic, yeah. So we
the fake real love. I hear you.
Well, the one that people present. The one that is presented, because real love can be very raw, and everybody's
it's raw.
Right, it can be very raw, and everybody's not necessarily ready for all of that, right?
Because real love will cause you to kill someone. I'm not saying I would, because we're on the YouTube live, and you know what I mean. But it will cause you to like.
You may or may not pick up a knife at some point.
I may not have. I'm just.
I can understand. No ID channel if stuff like that didn't happen.
Exactly,
right.
Real love will cause you to do some things. So I get the husband.
Oh yeah.
Things that you never even done thought. Like
would have never crossed your mind.
Never.
Yeah.
Never.
That's real love, Elisa.
And,
so I'm just saying.
It borders in a lot of areas. It could be like, oh, well, they do that because they're insecure, or they do that because there's lots of reasons. But when
you cut 3 tires, not 4, because you don't want the insurance to pay for it, so you only cut 3. Right. I mean, that's real love right there.
Yeah. So these things may or may not have happened to people we know. Just saying, right? Right. So we have August to look forward to. As always, we have to think about what our next book is, and I know it's summer, so I don't know.
We have our list.
Yeah.
What's our next book?
I'm opening it now. August. Oh, the book I suggested. I see why you're saying that now.
What book did you suggest?
Chasing My Cure by
it's a memoir, right?
Yes. But that's okay. You can pick a different book.
We can. How do you think we'll talk about it, but I think that's fine, because part of this is different types of genre.
We can skip it.
Part of this is different kinds of genre. We don't know the date yet, though, because we need to take a look at the calendar. We've got 3 kiddos getting ready for college, although some might stay, some may go. We don't know that part yet either. So I'm
hearing we're going to post our next book and the date that we discussed.
We're going to post the book title and the date, as we always do. And then, of course, we'll clearly give a teaser. And we'll see you here very, very soon on our channel. We're so glad we had.
Tony's laughing.
Tony,
why is she?
Is she?
Yes.
Oh, Tony, thank you.
It's why? Because we don't know our next book, or we have to discuss it.
What is she laughing at?
I don't know.
Oh. Ask Tony what her suggestion is for August.
She can hear you.
Oh, right.
No, that's my point, Tony. What's up? Like, suggest the book, girl.
Well, yeah. We've never taken any suggestions before.
We did from Alana.
But before we were on air.
But never from Elisa or Tony.
Yeah. So certainly, we have our books lined up, but we can certainly think about how we add. So I'm open.
But we know some books get more people tuning in and other books don't. Like, I think people like different books. I don't know.
And that's kind of how I feel about it. I feel like different genre does, it gravitates to other people, and some people like everything. I read everything, so I'm good. I just read a book by a therapist, so I was really stretching myself on that one. That was very interesting. So yeah, so we'll post and we'll make sure we have everybody tune in as we always love having guests with us. And I want everybody, there's parts of this book you can live, not all the parts. Don't end up at the red table. We don't want any drama for those of us who, no entanglements, and no stealing anybody's identity or any of those things.
None of that.
So,
none of that.
I mean,
none of that.
No 18-year-olds running out your front door.
Let's not make rules for people.
Okay. But I don't want to say live the book without us thinking about this.
No,
book.
live the book, but live your life. You know, if you are Phoebe and you're looking at this man like, I hate him, please leave. Just get out of your stuff. Enjoy your little 18-year-old and be proud of it. Keep it moving.
Yeah, that's true.
But don't hurt nobody along the way. Don't drag people along the way.
No. We hurt less people. That fewer people is best. Do your due, and then
do your due diligence.
Yeah.
You know, just treat people with kindness and love. And love is love.
Absolutely.
No matter what age, whatever. Just as I always say, and we always say, ladies, we always say, what we say. So I was just it was with a caveat, but we're in a global pandemic, so I figured I was just throw a few more cautionary items out there. So I hear you. We just don't want to judge. Wear a mask. You know what I mean? We just don't want to judge people and what they do. Just wear a mask. We do judge that. Wear a mask.
Right. There we go. All right. Well, ladies, it's been always a pleasure. We'll see you in August, 100% of the way. You are all of you really just give me so much inspiration and happiness to be able to share in this forum and talk about things that are really real and exciting. And so I look forward to reading with you. And don't forget, live the book.
Live the book.
Bye-bye.
Bye.